It's the WOW Show, Women on Women. I'm Shazmin Shamsuddin.
I'm Joanne Campopo.
And I'm Ning Baizura.
If you're in your 50s, 60s, or 70s, have you ever sat at home alone wondering what is going on with my mental health? No one's coming to visit. I have no one to talk to. I'm sitting at home doing nothing and just wallowing. Well, it happens to the best of us. And if you find yourself in that position, or you know someone in that position, it could be your mother, your father, your auntie, your uncles, or someone in your community. You find that they have no one really to talk to about various things and issues. You know, it can affect your mental health. So with that in mind, Komuniti Minda Sihat is an initiative for community mental health that has been started up recently in Klanajaya. And with us is the founder, Sitra Panirsheeluam. Welcome to the show.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
Hey.
So I believe this was an initiative that was inspired by something going on in Zimbabwe, which is the Friendship Bench. Can you tell us more about how you brought this together on board?
Yeah, I think I am a clinical psychologist and I see patients in my clinic. And most of them are young adults to older adults. And the common thing that I was hearing was it's either loneliness or, things at home. It's from my parents or it's from my friends and things like that. But there was no proper initiative or support at the lower levels of grassroots level for things like this. And most of the time it's coming from their household, right? So I just researched and saw what can we do for Malaysia instead of, also firstly, we are not, as much as mental health illness are on the rise, however, not many people are seeking therapy or help for themselves.
Is that because the cost is prohibitive?
Yes, the cost is one of the reasons. Another thing is awareness. Probably they don't even know they are going through depression or anxiety or, trauma. And parents or older adults that they live with, like these grandchildren who live with their grandparents these days, or maids, they are not really aware of mental health issues. So this is just being ignored. And also you see a lot of adolescents leaving homes, going missing, and things like that. So, I just wanted to come up with something that could help community level.
So what does the program do again? You bring together a lot of people? And then
Yeah, so the program actually educates people
Nice. Yeah.
to just be educated about mental health issues
Yeah.
like depression, anxiety, and also how to listen, how to, have whatever we do in counseling, right? Listen without judgment and things like that.
That's amazing.
So this friendship bench
Yeah.
that started in Zimbabwe, and of
Yeah.
course you brought that method down
Yep.
to Malaysia. Now, how did it actually start?
Yeah. So I was looking for something that was evidence-based because I think in Malaysia, there's another thing where we just implement something and then it just doesn't happen because it's not a long-term thing and, less evidence-based kind of thing. So a lot of people were not aware of Friendship Bench. And I researched and saw something for community, which then I found Friendship Bench, which was founded by Dr. Dixon.
Maybe you can explain that to us in
Yeah.
layman terms, what this friendship band is all about,
Oh, right.
and how it serves its community when it first started, and how is it being implemented
Okay.
here?
So Dr. Dixon actually had a patient who committed suicide.
Okay.
And then this patient couldn't come to his clinic because at that time he was the only psychiatrist in Zimbabwe.
Okay.
And there was no, transport to get to his clinic as soon as possible and things like that. So what he came up with was training grandmothers
Okay.
to sit on a bench and give them training. What we just did in Klanajaya, the same training.
Same training as well?
Yeah.
These are mental
Same
health ambassadors, yeah?
Yeah. So the
and-
grandmothers became the so-called
Oh,
therapists,
okay.
right, at the park. Yeah.
Is there an age that you're looking for to become this mental health ambassadors?
No,
Any age.
any age.
It's
above
just
18.
that when it
above 18.
18.
Yeah.
But when it first started, this friendship band over in Zimbabwe, it was what the doctor did was train grandmothers,
Yes.
right? And over here, who were your first ambassadors?
So
And
we just
age
left
group.
it to
And
community
age group.
members to sign up by themselves. It was not forced or anything like that. Whoever was interested to come and join, they joined. So we had the youngest was 30 and the oldest was 75.
Wow.
Yeah.
Sitra, can you elaborate on the type of training that these ambassadors have to undergo to become a mental health ambassador?
Okay. So the first training was delivered by Dr. Alvin from Sandway University. He is a clinical psychologist and he trained them on PHQ-9, GAD-7. These are screening tests for depression and also anxiety levels. It's just a screening test. It's not a thorough assessment. This is a self-screening test. You can do it by yourself and see if you are on the high range or, moderate.
Might be on the high range of anxiety level too.
Yeah. So he trained these ambassadors to actually, how do we fill up that the screening test, and also educated more on task shifting methods, like how a clinical psychologist would, like here and there, like a very basic thing of what they should know before they take up this role. And then we had also Dr. Aswin. He's an addiction specialist. Who trained them on depression and anxiety, right? And then we had a counselor who's Miss Azza, and she trained them on listening without judgment, listening skills, counseling skills, basic counseling skills.
Right.
And we had a GP, which now we are trying to promote that, when in Malaysia you say, you have to go and see a psychologist. Let's say these ambassadors are actually talking to someone and then they say, okay, now I think you have depression. Looks like the PHQ is showing, you have depression. So I think it's best you see a psychologist. That's where the stigma comes. Or a psychologist or a psychiatrist, you ingat saya gila ke? Things like that. So what we tried to do here is introduce GPs who actually went through training. So we have 50 GPs who went through training. It was a 6 months course for GPs where they were educated on mental health and how do you do on it in a GP setting. It's
Right.
much cheaper, it's cost effective, and you get
More accessible.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's more accessible.
So these members, these community health ambassadors, do they get certified? I mean,
Yes.
would you be able to call them counselors?
No,
right?
No, not at all. Yeah, not even lay counselors. They are just helpers, like
Alright.
around
Peer
the community.
support.
Yeah, peer support.
In the community?
Yes, yes.
I have a mother. She's 81. Okay, so I'm learning from you now. It's just a lot because I might have some anxiety too because of her anxiety, right? Because of her Alzheimer's. So what are the common misconceptions of like stigma surrounding like, it took me 3 years to realize she's got it for 3 years. And I think I also, whatever she triggers, it triggers me too. So especially among older generations. So what are the common misconceptions of this stigma around, for Malaysians usually?
Yeah. I think the first thing is it's a Western kind of illness,
Yeah.
right? I mean, it's just like a
Dia
Westerner
dengar
kind of.
dementia ke Alzheimer ke
Yeah.
jangan,
I mean, it's not really common, but it is super
so common.
Yeah.
Yes, tell me about it.
It's just that we are ignoring it and we
Yeah.
are not really looking at it.
Yeah.
But I think for the longest time, if you had a grandmother or whatever, they did go and see a psychiatrist at some point, but it was not really mentioned, or maybe the GP itself was giving some medication for depression to sleep. Okay, it all starts from sleeping.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, lack of sleep, lack of oxygen.
Yeah, it's
That's what-
like, I can't sleep. that was the common thing that a GP would also tell you, that a lot of patients come here and say they can't sleep or they are forgetful. Just once in a while. Okay, once in a while is fine. But over time, it just becomes worse. So then, what do? You see a geriatric psychiatrist.
Yes.
There's also geriatric trust psychiatrists.
Yes.
There are addiction specialists. There are a lot of specialists, in the psychiatry field itself. Psychologist is very new in Malaysia. We do deal with them. We do speak to them. We have counseling. We have diagnosis. We can diagnose. We can do assessments.
Yep.
But this is not really well trained. I think it's very new in Malaysia. Psychologists are not getting opportunities to go to government hospitals to actually have where the doctors actually did 2 years housemanship. We do have 700 hours. We have to actually fulfill that. However, the lack of supervision, the lack of a lot of other things have actually come up. So how well are they trained? So for now, yes, like me, I still work with psychiatrists very closely. I still go into their sessions to overlap and shadow them and see how they are conducting their assessments. And that's how I've been learning more in depth, because in clinical psychology, they probably learn assessments and things like that, which the psychiatrists do not do. But
I'm sorry, just want to share something, because for me, it took us a while before COVID. And then during COVID, I've realized that my mother was, of course, we were staying at home a lot, right? Every parents and the children, a lot of people who got married, got divorced, and then the ones who are married, making more children. But our parents were feeling really left out. And like for my mother, she was so depressed. I can tell that she was going through some depression. So it took me a while to convince her to go and see a specialist, a geriatric specialist. It took me a while to ask her to go for the MRI.
Yeah.
We did 2 MRIs just to be sure. But she is still in denial. It's been 3 years. And that's tough for me, because every time I mention, so now, to cut the story short, it's just very hard for us to deal with the fact that she is not recognizing it. She doesn't want to. I said, we haven't mentioned the word Alzheimer's or dementia, but she's the one who says, you guys keep saying I have dementia. I have no dementia. I have no Alzheimer's. So we try not to trigger her. But when we go and see the geriatric specialist, she says she feels small because they ask her to answer all these questions that makes her feel like she's a child. So I know she doesn't like it. And I think I need to have some context from you, because it's like you shouldn't treat them like they're more stupid. She's not. My mother is a very clever Alzheimer's. That's what my geriatric specialist says. She is intelligent because she is a lecturer. She's a teacher. So she writes her poetry very well. But her anger just is there because I think I've recognized it now. She doesn't get to go out of the house. She doesn't get to drive again. She doesn't get her normal things that she get to do. Her freedom is taken out. So only now I've recognized that after so long. I'm teaching myself, right? But now I've found you. It's like ways for the family to understand, because my family is going nuts. My husband especially, I mean, he loves her. We love her, but so much of patience. There's only so much of patience that we can have. So I'm trying to understand her, and I think I've done quite pretty good job at this point, because whenever she's angry, I tell her, okay, hold on, time out. So when I go, she'll forget. I know it's mean, but she'll forget, but it'll come back again. So I will have my own time out, because I say, Mom, I have to make a phone call.
Yeah.
Because I used to cry at night. The first year, nobody knows this, like in my bathroom, just to like, why is my mother doing this? I'm losing her. I think I was giving her an ultimatum at that point, knowing that, oh no, she's losing. It's not going to happen straight away. It's a process. So now her level is like almost like level 6, 7. But I might have to bring her to see your team to evaluate her, because the level of her anxiety will just happen just like that, and she will get like, she becomes someone else. Her anger is just, it can be just about the rubbish bin, It can be just about little things. So now we try to make her happy. I mean, whenever she's angry, I try and tickle her. I hug her. I hug her a lot. So I don't know what else to do, but put her back into her common chores that she used to do, which is have her more involved with my son. You know, I do take her out whenever I can, go for massages, but she wants to see her friends. So last Sunday, this just happened. Like, why didn't I think of this earlier? Because I was so busy, right? Last Sunday, I took her back to her gang to see her friends, and this past a few days after now, she's behaved much better. You know, she said she was so grateful. She's like my mother again. Thank you for taking me. She wrote a note. She left me. Yeah.
So it could be because she wasn't doing anything, and to her it wasn't productive.
Yes.
Whether
She
it
said
was
she's
for her.
useless.
This is
Yeah.
lack
I didn't
of
hear that.
connection.
Yeah.
with her
So
peers.
now I'm hearing her. But I said,
Yeah.
okay, so now you've got these friends. Next step is to why not make new friends? So this is where I hope you can recommend this
and this is
program.
where the community comes in. When they understand dementia or Alzheimer's or mental health illnesses, then they're more supportive. And that's what we need in our community. Like going and seeing her old friends is like something like behavior activation, functional behaviors. Like she was doing it before. You were doing the right
have a
thing.
purpose.
Yeah.
She feels that I don't have a purpose.
Yeah.
So I said, but you have a purpose in this house. 'Cause I was not listening before, right? But now I'm like, okay, I think it's time for me to prioritize her purpose, which she wants to go back to her center, meet her
So
friends.
it's not just the house,
Yeah.
because even though
It's out-
you
yeah.
kept saying that it's the house for her, I mean, in the house everything is laid for, so she
Yes.
doesn't feel
Yes.
needed. Maybe
She feels trapped. So
Yeah.
this is all the little things that I didn't see, the science of words, as she says. So
So I think when someone receives the diagnosis, we
Yeah.
totally forget who's the person. We see the
Exactly.
diagnosis instead. So this is where probably people need to understand
Yes.
that they are still the same person. They can still go back and do what they're
Yes.
doing, and that would help them
Yeah.
super well.
there is no cure.
Yeah. There's no cure, but
just
you can
to
care for them really
subside
well.
At least she's more calm.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sitra,
So-
for this situation, right? How can Komuniti Minda Sihat help with Ning's
Do you have to pay
situation?
to go for?
No, not at
No.
all. Not at
Oh,
all. So the
fantastic.
community members are trained. And if they actually came up by themselves. We had a group therapy session, and where they said that in our community there's like more people are the spouses are dying and grieving and things like that. So the community members itself group up together and they visit the homes. So if someone has dementia or something, this community members go to their homes and they can actually sit and speak, talk about it. Of course, not as a professional, but as a peer support or someone in the community that they see every day, like for walks. Let's go out for a walk.
Yeah.
Let's go out for
I'd
just
say it's not
tea.
for walks. Yeah,
You
I
know,
understand.
like
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
this people in the community will go, but of course they need to know who they can
Reach
go
out to.
Yeah.
reach out to.
yes, yeah.
Is there like, okay, take me through how it works.
Yeah.
First, you have, of course, the people in the community that have been trained.
Yeah.
And then how do you seek who needs this service or this assistance?
So it works the same way with therapy. We don't force people to come and seek therapy. But if the community member have a family member who is
Who knows
going
about it.
through something
Yeah.
and they feel like, I don't know where to go and reach out. I just need to speak to some aunties or uncle in the community who has been trained. They do have a WhatsApp group. So they actually...
It begins with the WhatsApp group
Yes.
first.
I
And
think
then
this
you
is where
have-
awareness is really important,
Yeah.
isn't
Yes.
it? So
Yeah.
that you know, or someone who loves you knows there's a resource to go
yes.
to.
Maybe you can
Yeah.
try.
Reach out.
And I
Yeah.
think for the purposes of today's interview is like, we want to get that awareness out there so that if you know someone in your family or in your community who could benefit from speaking to another party, not the family, not friends, but perhaps someone with a bit of training. That's
at
what we're
least the
aiming for.
community members who have been trained also will know how to see if someone is struggling,
Yes.
to just pick out and say that if their friends are going, for a walk and not remembering things, I have my mom is one of them who got trained as well, and then she comes back and says that, this lady, she can't even remember what she did in the hospital. She said that the doctor did not even see her.
That's my mother the next day.
It's all blank.
Short-term memory lapse.
So after we trained them, I think they were more like, okay, so this is dementia. There's a name to
They
it.
learn to identify.
Identify. Correct.
Citra, do you find that a lot of younger people, maybe people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, would seek this type of, I guess,
Help?
assistance? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we are trying to also put it out there, that if you're not speaking to your mother or your father or no one, your grandparents are not really the kind of person who you can sit down and speak to, probably you can reach out to one of the aunties who's kind of similar with your parents or your uncle or anyone you're living with, and it becomes very familiar, right, to speak to someone who understands that maybe their parents so I'm not talking bad about my parents, but I just need more understanding. I just need to vent it out. So that's where Komuniti Minda Sihat can also be a very good support system, because I know your mom, I know
So there's some
things like that.
familiarness
Yeah,
there.
correct.
good.
So you can try
Relate.
and relate
Yeah.
what's going on at home
Yep.
with what, because sometimes if you're too close to the person like your mom or your dad and you
can't talk about
you
everything.
can't talk
Yeah,
about
yeah.
everything, whereas like someone like an auntie who perhaps know your mom or your dad may give you another insight, right?
Yeah.
And it's at that level where you trust this person because this person have been in your neighborhood, have been in your community, and also perhaps are friends with your said parents.
Yeah. And also they have been trained not to give their opinion and not to judge.
Listen without judging.
Yes, so we were afraid of that as well. Like,
Yeah.
so we have reminded them many times, it's just listening, no judging, and no opinions or anything. Just
Do you give
listen out.
advice? No.
No, we are like basically supervision. Like we are supervisors around, where they can reach out to and ask like, what do I do after this? If the patient, the community member is saying that she feels suicidal, or she feels like jumping off her roof because she's just feeling that way, then it's an urgent thing.
Okay.
So that's where we. If they, don't tell my parents, I don't want to go to a psychologist or psychiatrist, then, just go reach out to a GP.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
But
reach
like
out
you
to a
said,
GP.
you do house visits,
Yeah.
right? Okay, so it has to start from the person willing to understand what they are going through, if they have something, like a mental issues, or like you said just now, you OCD to me, but I'm going, no, I'm not. I might have to go first. How do I bring my mother there then? To make it like a bit more casual. This is like, how do you start to? She's not good on WhatsApp. My generation is not good on WhatsApp.
So then the community member can visit your mom in the house to, just a friend who's coming and speaking to her. It's not diagnosing. It's not anything. Just someone to chit chat with.
Yeah.
And that has proven to improve people's mental health. Just to talk.
That's excellent.
Since you mentioned about improving their mental health, I mean, talking does improve as well. Now, what are the positive impact from the participants and the families that you have gathered? That after a while, after being in this community and being in this program, how long before you see some form of
Results.
Results.
And
Yeah, so it's just a peer support. It's not like results based because we are not treating mental
There is no
illness here.
timeline,
Yeah. Mental illness and mental health is different.
Okay.
Correct.
Mental health is just health. You're talking, you're venting out, you are feeling much better. But if you have a mental illness, then you have to see a professional,
Right.
right? So your question was how
I mean, like,
What was the impact?
what was the
impact?
impact,
Yeah, so
the
people were-
positive impact, and
Yeah.
well, I was asking for results. I mean, how long
Yeah.
before you see results? I mean, like with Ning, like she brought her mom last week to see her friend after 3 years, and she realized even though that short period, there is a certain result there.
Yeah. So I think it's not about results or anything here. It's about how community can just get together and just be there for one another, to have the conversations going on around mental health, and getting used to just saying like, yeah, I'm depressed. I think, I am going through a very low period, or I'm very anxious. I have some ladies who came up and said that they've been very anxious, or they're taking care of someone with,
Caring for elderly.
and things like that. It has been giving a lot of anxiety, like how you have mentioned before. And I think that is very true, because caregivers are not given the support.
Yeah.
So here is the caregivers that would need more support than the patient itself. So in this community, if we train people like this, they have also mentioned that they have been very judgmental before. Just like when someone's sister, and because they are the eldest in the family, and when they spoke to their sisters and things like that, they used to just brush it away, like, yeah, I know about it, I know what you're talking about, and things like that. But after going through the training, they actually said that they learned how to they might be wrong.
I want to go for training.
How long does the training period last?
It was about 9 sessions.
Okay,
Altogether.
tomorrow I'll register. I so need the training.
Yeah, it has to come from your community though.
Yes,
like
yes,
the
yes,
Residents Association and Rumah Tangga and all this kind of people helped us to get this program going,
Okay.
right? Because they have access to their community. We do not have any access
Yeah,
to
so
the
like
community.
the neighborhood
Yes.
community.
Yes.
Okay.
So
okay.
this where we train the SS4, 4C and 4D, they have
What's
a very
4C and
active.
4D?
So Klanajaya, SS4C and 4D.
Okay.
They have a very strong community support,
Oh.
right? Anything, I mean, they all get together. A lot of activities for them, phone classes,
So people like
bouquet
me-
making, flower arrangement classes and
I
things
can't,
like
I
that.
can't just
So-
join the.
No, it's for
4C.
Kelanajaya.
Yeah, you
So
should
where you
talk
have
to your community.
Yeah,
You have to
yeah,
start
yeah.
one.
Start
You
my
should
own
speak
community
to your
in Monkera.
and that's how we can really get like a
Why not?
like a research going to see which community
I'll
is
do that.
actively
I
doing
think
that.
what you mentioned earlier about caregivers not getting the support that they need, they too need to speak to someone because they're doing a lot. I mean, I was my mother's caregiver for 10 months before she
your
passed
dad,
on. And then when my dad fell ill and was on hospice, that was pretty challenging. My sister and I had to take turns, with him. And with my dad, because he was still mentally very lucid, very verbal, but his body, and he was an avid golfer. This is a guy who would go out golfing every day. Yeah? He wasn't able to do that anymore. His mental health really went downhill. And yes, he spoke to us a little bit about it, but he had this dark humor where it's like, let's get real, let's stop joking and just, tell me how you feel. He wouldn't be able to talk to us in that way. So when Hospice Malaysia sent their nurses over to just check him out, make sure he was all right, and sit down and actually listen to him vent the things about what he couldn't vent to us kids about. And I noticed a difference, he was so much lighter, so much happier despite the circumstances.
Do they come regularly, or it was just like?
It wasn't regular, but if we called them, they'll send someone.
Wow.
So when we noticed my dad was like not doing too well mentally, we just give them a call and said, hey, could you send
Someone
the nurse
over.
over tomorrow? He really needs to talk to someone.
Yeah.
And oh my God, day and night, his attitude and his, I guess his outlook, despite, knowing that, hey, I'm just waiting to, basically his words were, I'm just waiting to die.
Oh,
I'm
that's
sitting
what my
here
mother
waiting to die.
says.
For a child to listen to your father talk like that, it was shocking. But it was what he was going through.
Yeah.
And, so many people in that situation feel that way and have no one to vent with.
Yeah. I think just talking
Yeah.
makes a lot of difference.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
but like you said, sometimes family members can only do so much,
Yes.
right? So I try and bring like, okay, my staff or whatever, but they don't get too personal to talk to her about it. So this is where I find that I think she needs to talk to her, to see her friends again. So that's why I took her back to her center to do her meditation, which is good. And then she came back like all
Better.
happy. She
more
even
at
wrote
ease.
notes for me.
Yeah.
So I made a pact with her. I said, so this is my theory, right? My style. I said, so now I think there's no point of you trying to get angry, because think about it first. Because you write all these poems about being patient, about being this. So whatever you write is what you really want to be. I am trying to be the psychologist here, because I feel that if you talk about patience, then you have to do patience today. So if you talk about this and that, she goes, no, don't worry, Ning. I'm fine. I'm like, oh, fingers crossed. I hope so, because it has been a few days and she's much better.
Yeah.
And this is only from one
session.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it proves, like what I
Yes,
said,
it improves,
the positive impact.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whether it is from a community base or you seeking out other communities. What's nice is
Okay.
you've done this in Kelana Jaya,
Yeah.
and it's a success. And now you were mentioning that Bangsa is now interested. You're going to start that
Yeah, that's in July. Yeah.
in July. And how many months do you think, or when you started, the community just takes over and then you can branch into another area?
So we had like 4 different speakers, and
Okay.
each one of them did like 3 sessions. Some of them did 3 and 1 session. So it depends how the community, I put up a schedule up there and said these are the dates that our speakers are available. And so it took about 1.5 months. But like I said, it could just be like about few hours of training if they are willing. But a lot of these aunties were like, oh, we can't even stand there even more than 2 hours. So some of them did online training.
Yeah.
And then some
The
was
fact they can go
physical.
online, good enough.
Good, yes,
Impressive. Kita nak online lagi.
That's good.
So-
Okay. So when is this Bangsa project?
It's in July.
Okay.
It's in July.
Make sure
Start
you
in
tell
July.
me. Let's
Sure.
be in touch.
I think
Yeah.
once people get more aware that these programs
It's
are
aware.
available for the
Yes.
community, I think it will encourage more communities
Correct.
to
Reach
come
out.
forward and say, we want to do this too
Yeah.
for the people
Yeah.
in our community.
Yeah.
So what do you hope listeners will get out of, I guess it's a discussion today?
Our hope is very simple, is to get people to talk about mental health on like a daily conversation kind of
Yes,
thing.
yes, yes.
I think this stigma of mental health has been there. And this is why I actually also founded this Komuniti Minda Sihat, is to get the conversations about mental
Like
health
normalize
being
it.
normalized.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what's my hope. Very easy, simple. You just need to understand people. They're going through something. It's not a physical disability that we can see.
Yeah.
It's a mental health issue, mental illnesses that we can't see. And so let's treat everyone kindly. The words and the way we speak. I think in Malaysia, we are very straightforward, on your face. Right?
True.
Ini pun tak tahu ke? Bodoh ke?
Those are the
or
words
something.
that will put you...
Exactly.
Yeah.
And these days, I think the younger ones are very sensitive, but I can't say even the older ones were not sensitive. They were
Same.
just, I don't know, but it just comes out after
You
that.
think it's a
know?
joke, right? But it's not really,
So people who
because-
have
yeah.
like OCD or something just ruminate about it, and then it goes into more severe mental health illnesses, and it comes from other people, unfortunately, right? Of course, we see the biopsychosocial model to treat someone, but I think when people around us are more kinder and the way they treat us with a lot of respect and open
Empathy,
conversations
yes.
about mental health
Understanding.
and things like that, I think this is when our community mental health will improve.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, can you give us some information about how to join or support this initiative?
So, okay. So you can follow my page, triangles_services.
Okay.
We have a web page as well.
That's on Instagram?
It's on Instagram.
Yeah.
Or you can contact directly 012 916 9672.
Okay.
Okay, we'll have the information, on our various socials.
Yes, definitely.
Sitra, thank you so much for this very enlightening
Thank you very
conversation.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming.
It was great having me here. Thank you very much.